And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Thursday. It's June. It's stormy out here right now in Central Florida. Happens pretty much every afternoon. It's the 26th. Hope you're having a good day. As always, we have lots to cover. We have lots to talk about. Serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry. Iran, Israel, debt, deficits, crappy, big, beautiful bills. I mean that, crappy. And whatever else comes to mind. But most importantly, the market comes to mind. We have been telling you under no uncertain terms about the strengthening and what happens if resistance levels get taken out. We have told you that when big indices get taken out to the upside, it invites more buying. Just like when it's taken down to the downside, it invites more selling. So we're going to start with the market, and let's describe life in general, okay? Let's see what we got going. We have the media who hates Trump beyond the beyond and remains just completely biased against him. The reports every day are negative. They spent 4 years kissing Biden's butt and never reporting anything bad, but give Trump a colonoscopy every day. So you're not going to hear anything good whatsoever. You have war. You have the United States bomb Iran and their nuclear capabilities. We've had Israel, Hamas. There is worry and talk about recessions, depressions, inflation, deflation. I can go on, and it's why I have said to you, you got to ignore the media. They're full of crap. Biased media. Remember that. It's important. Because the latest, I'm only going to do a minute on this, the latest is they ran with something even though that something was a low confidence assessment, trying to make him look bad on the bombing of Iran. Do you remember Afghanistan and Biden? You know why you don't? Because they hardly reported how bad it was and nightmarish. Do you remember them reporting 10 million people going through the border? No, you don't. The only reason you did hear it was because of Fox and me and others. To them, Trump is the Antichrist, and let's be clear, he's not nice to them. But I want to make sure you keep your focus on the market and not them reporting the end of the world is at hand. That's the importance here. So, the markets. We're just going to report to you what happened. First off, on Tuesday, the NASDAQ rallied above the last few weeks' tight action, which had it headed to the old highs. The NASDAQ old highs was 2204. It closed today at 2167, a stone's throw away. It is doing that without Apple that remains in a bear market, and Apple is like 9 or 8 or whatever percent. Let me see, I got it here somewhere. Apple is over 9% of the NASDAQ 100, which takes me to the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100 did exactly what Apple did. Excuse me, the NASDAQ did 2 days ago. Moved above near-term resistance, looking to take out the old highs, which were 22222. We closed today at 22447. We edged above it yesterday. We went more today. The NASDAQ 100 was up 209 today to 22447. By the way, the NASDAQ up 194 to 2167, and that was without Apple. It was without Tesla. That remains on the weak side, and Tesla's in the top 10. So there's some other things going on. Now, as we have said to you, and we want you to listen carefully, there are no guarantees. What we do with our reading of the markets, technical analysis, is we are looking at a photo album for familiar faces. And from the past, we know when big indices break above old highs, especially the old highs that were 5-6 months ago, it is usually meaningful. We've been asked the question, well, what about this gargantuan V shape? Well, that was caused by one man. And he changed his stance. So unless he changes his stance back, I'm not so worried about it. Donald Trump caused the bear and the crash. Donald Trump caused the bottom and the rally, getting rid of those stupid, moronic, imbecilic tariffs. He'll never tell you that, but we will. So there's no guarantees, but the NASDAQ 100 has broken out to new highs. Without Apple, without Tesla, by the way, without Costco, which is a top 10. So how is that possible? Well, let's see. Microsoft is number 2, Nvidia is number 3. They're at new highs. Amazon is 4. It's trying. Broadcom is 5. That's new highs. Meta is number 6. That's getting there. Netflix is number 8. That's there and been strong. And the number 10 is Google, which is not doing that great, but a bunch of them are. And there's your story. On top of that, the semis have been better. And there's been other names that are of import, like Spotify and other sundry things that are out there. So while they're telling you the end of the world is hand and Hitler's running the country, the market's breaking out. The S&P is right there. The new yearly high list is picking up. Stocks like Goldman Sachs, new highs. By the way, something like that is up 7% this week. JP Morgan, new highs, up 5% this week. What have we told you about big banks when they're doing well? It is rare that the markets are not doing well. And then you can go underneath the surface and just see some of the worst areas bottoming. You have a lot of mid-level moves. What does that mean? These are stocks not at highs, but they were like mid-level of their range, and they've been sitting for 3 weeks, and you know what they've done? They just broke back above those ranges, the stair steps. So we're just letting you know, advanced decline on the New York with 34-7 today. NASDAQ 30-12. Put a couple of zeros at the end of those and you get the numbers. And as I look, Facebook up 17, Netflix up 31, Spotify up 39, CrowdStrike up 11, Goldman Sachs up 17, JP Morgan up 5, Microsoft up 5, Caterpillar up 10 in the Dow. Guess what? The Dow was up 404. And you know the Dow's doing it without a bunch of names. You know about United Health, Verizon, Visa's having a rough going of it. Procter & Gamble, Nike, Merck, McDonald's, Coke, Johnson & Johnson, Home Depot, Chevron. All these stocks are different levels of bearish phases. Apple, Amgen. So the Dow is laboring versus the S&P, and we don't care. We're fine with that. Even the small and mid caps are trying again, but as we have said to you, they're just much weaker than the rest. Why buy small caps if big caps are stronger? And that's been going on forever. On top of that, we noticed today other things like copper. We'll explain copper in a second, and much more. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So when you have a chance, you ask for it. We're doing markets up front every day now. Copper, go look at CPER. Gapped up today, coming up the right side. Copper stocks like Freeport-McMoRan coming up the right side. How about Southern Copper coming up the right side? How about Tech Resources coming up the right side? Copper. Why would we ever bring up copper? Because economic. Maybe telling you something about the economy going forward. Maybe. Just remember, I know what every president says. If the economy's strong, look what we've done. No, they don't do anything. It's us. We're good. And all we can tell you now, copper is getting into the act. We'll see. Do I have any complaints? No. Yields came down today. Oh, I have some complaints on the president today. Nothing bad, but because we will praise him on other things. Yields came down today. Oil bounced a little bit. That's been trashed recently. You know it's not working? Consumer staples like food and beverage. That's actually good news. Why? They're recession resistant. So if they're not working, that's actually good news. But most importantly, semiconductors, big banks, NASDAQ 100 new yearly highs, NASDAQ close, S&P close. Advanced decline strong. New yearly highs starting to pick up, finally. Markets forgiving as we head into July 4th. And then we'll head into earnings season and we'll see what the market has in store. And out of earnings season, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have some stocks gapping up. You're going to have some stocks blowing up. And we'll be ready for anything at that time. Now, one of the biggest questions I'm getting right now is the artificial intelligence stocks are much better after crashing into April. We've been reading up, trying to understand it in the best way possible. We have yet to use ChatGPT, by the way. I'm still using Google as search. Eventually, I'll take some time on a weekend and do that. But from what I see, it's kind of sort of, My wife tells me if she has to write a letter, it does it for her. So I guess there's some good things going on. Anyway, the amount of money they're saying they're going to spend, all these companies, we'll see how it goes. And that's the story of the markets. Foreign markets in pretty decent shape also, though they've had some problems recently. And in the case of things like Germany, they're in recession and the stock market's still going up. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, new yearly high, V-shaped. So it's not just tech. Some of the restaurants are starting to come on. Energy, not the oil, but kind of the energy stuff coming on. And there you have it. What if the NASDAQ 100 tucks its head in like a frightened turtle? That's okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see some pullbacks here and there. I don't think there would be anything wrong with it. In fact, I think it would be a no biggie. Why? Because overall the market's behaving better. And we tend to not argue with it. We have no interest in arguing with the market. Tomorrow's another day. I gather we're going to have a down day soon, and that'll be just fine. And let me repeat something. Advance declines today. I'll give out the full numbers. 3,421 up on the New York, 742 down on the New York. 3,009 up on the NASDAQ, only 1,285 down. That's good stuff. We'll take a bunch more of that going forward, ladies and gentlemen. And one more time, breakouts in indices are usually meaningful. And that is what I got for you. Which takes me to some other part of the equation where we completely disagree with the president. He doesn't shut up about it. He's now talking about hiring a new Fed head a year before Jay Powell is out in order to force him out. And that is a big problem going forward because this president is wrong on all this. And if he gets a Fed head coming in who kisses his butt and is works for him and not for independence, he may lower rates too much, and there goes the inflation again. He may have him print money. There goes the inflation again. What do you think of that inflation? Any good? So I like nothing. And just remember, I'm Jay Powell's biggest critic. But the president's wrong on this. He should stay the hell out of it. But the ego, and unfortunately all the pundits, it doesn't matter if he wee-weed in the middle of I-95. They'll still say, well, he needed to. We wish him well, and we hope he does the right thing going forward. Just remember that. And by the way, we applaud him on a ton of stuff. So don't email me with the TDS crap. We just think some of the things I just don't understand. I really do not understand. But I guess when you're the president, you're a billionaire, you think you're omnipotent and every decision you ever make is right. I get it. I understand. I do believe the Fed is going to cut rates soon. I believe in July. I believe they telegraphed it. But I believe it's only going to be a quarter point and it's not going to be a big deal. It is not going to affect you. It's not going to affect me. It will not affect the economy, but maybe I think the market's moving on it right now because the market likes easier money. Always has, always will. We don't talk money supply here because we don't want to put you to sleep, but the money supply is flying right now, and markets usually like that. If you want to know what money supply is, go look it up. Go look up M1, M2, M3, and all that crap. I know it would put me to sleep. And that's why we don't even talk the currencies too much either. But our dollar keeps swooning and the markets love it, but I'm PO'd because I'm headed to Wimbledon, and I got to tell you, I think I'm 1.35 now on the pound. We were down to like 110. That really sucks. In other words, you're paying $1,350 for every pound when it was 110 like a year ago. Why is the dollar swooning? Not a clue. Up next, what else we got? Got a few more notes and complaints. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a good day. It is thundering here in Central Florida. We get storms. In, what was it, a few weeks ago, where one of the homes in our neighborhood got hit by lightning and just, it's over. They got to take down the whole house. Big fire, gutted the place. I guess they're going to demolition the whole thing and put up a new one. Imagine that. Imagine that. You're just sitting there, lightning hits, and boom. Dang. And now we're getting into hurricane season here. Oh, gosh. No fun. But at least we can see them coming. I never, people in Tornado Alley, that cannot be fun because that just the stuff comes out of nowhere. So all we're doing right now is sitting back, enjoying what we own, letting the markets do it, and just finding new merchandise. And how do we find new merchandise? Excuse me, stocks that are merging out of nice little ranges on heavy volume. Simple as that. With good earnings and sales, we do not play companies with no sales, even though a bunch of them went crazy to the upside. We do know because of precedent, they all go back to where they came from if nothing changes. So we tell everybody to be very, very careful. We're now studying the stable coin thing because some of these stable coin stocks have gone, wow. I don't understand why we need stable coins. But I guess they're saying that Amazon or Walmart is thinking about it. They do their own coin, get rid of MasterCard and Visa. I'd like to know how that's going to work. MasterCard and Visa stock has been punished because of that. Two very dependable stocks been punished because of that. We'll keep you on top of that because I got to tell you, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. What is the shape of things to come? As the market was rallying, we said to you, just start paying attention to new yearly high list. I hope you have, because the first things that broke out are working the best. That's how it goes. The market's a race. It's about strength. And that's for sectors also. As of recent, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the first. And now others are showing up. Why are the banks working? It's a better market. Banks, semiconductors, lead markets up and down. It is by no accident. They're leading the market up right now. If they top out and start heading south, that'll be another story. And we'll be on that story for you. But I cannot understate it. If these big indices continue to hold and break out of range, it's going to invite more buying, and we'll see more and more new highs going forward, in spite of the media. And boy, oh boy, wow. In the news, just speaking of that, have you noticed, and maybe they've earned it, every answer they doubt when it's a Republican administration. Democratic administration, they don't care. It's a shame. The guy from CNN's now writing a book about how the Biden and all the things about Biden, and claiming, well, they knew. They knew about 10 million coming through the border. They knew about the deaths, people drowning. They knew about people dying in the back of trucks. Never reported. Why would they do that? Can't hurt their side. And speaking of that side, we don't get it. We got a lot of emails on my commentary on this Yutz that may have a chance to win the mayorship of New York City, which begs the question, what the hell's the matter with people? He's pretty much called for the death of Israel. He hates Jews. He's calling for government-owned this, that, and the other thing, which has destroyed countries, let alone cities. He's calling to pay all for free things by taxing the wealthy who are going to move. He wants less police He's called the police of New York City racist. By the way, we're not opinionizing here. We're telling you facts. He wants to decriminalize everything. And you already know what's going on in the city. Go into a CVS, everything's locked up. Everything is locked up. And by the way, you know what they're claiming now? The reason why people are not happy about him is because we have Islamophobia. I couldn't give a crap if this guy was a Martian from Mars. He's a communist, racist, thug. And I'd say it to his face. In the news. Social Security. The Social Security bosses, the heads, have set date that America is going to run out of cash for Social Security. Wait a minute. How can that be? They're now saying, well, we'll both run short of funds to pay full payments, benefits, 2033. How can that be? Didn't you all have money taken out of your check so you could get money later on your Social Security? How can that be? Well, because they stole the frickin' money and they're using workers of today to pay for. And of course, because it's government run, they did not prepare for the future of people living longer. And anytime anybody wanted to do something about it, they said, oh, you are throwing grandma off a cliff. So just letting you know, they're saying 2033. Medicare's hospital insurance trust fund will be unable to fully cover costs beginning in 2033, 3 years earlier than last year's estimate, as well as the Social Security itself. Have I thrilled you yet? Just letting you know. But don't do anything about it. Don't do anything about it. Hopefully one day somebody. Oh, on that note, annual interest expense on U.S. debt has now reached $1.2 trillion over the last 12 months. The U.S. is paying $3.3 billion a day in interest. They hate us. And Trump and the Republicans are doing nothing about it. They are lying to you and me also. Oh yeah, we're cutting debt by $1.6 trillion over 10 years. Debt's going up $22 trillion over the next 10 years, and they're cutting 1.6 from $22 trillion. We want you to know this. We want you to know this. None of them care. It's just that the Democrats are Marxists now, and they're just horror show. At least the Republicans want to keep taxes low. But everything else pisses me off. And it should piss you off too, because they're lying to you. I watched the Office of Management and Budget guy on TV the other day. Boy, I wanted to throw darts at the TV. And of course, a friendly journalist did not question him about his lies. And now they're telling us, don't worry, growth will take care of it. That's a lie too. Government spending is government spending. Growth doesn't cure that. Maybe the deficit will be a little bit less because of better growth, and that means more revenue to the Treasury. But it's still going to be $22 trillion over 10 years on the low end. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, or whatever else. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Well, tomorrow night I'll be flying to London. I'll be doing the radio show next week. I won't be doing the show tomorrow because I got to get to the airport. I will be doing the show Let's see. Friday is July 4th, so we're off. Thursday is a half day next week. We don't usually do a show on a half day either. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'll be doing the show Monday and Tuesday. Not sure about Wednesday. From London, Monday and Tuesday. It's 5 hours later there. That's right. So I'll be taping at 9 o'clock on Monday and Tuesday. I'm not going to Wimbledon Monday, Tuesday, but I'm definitely going Thursday. Looks like I'm going Wednesday also, and flying back Friday to New York because Saturday is my grandson's 1 year birthday. It's been 1 year already. Reese Daniel Kaltbaum. 1 year. It's going fast, kids. That's all I can tell you. It is going very fast. Okay, I think it's important to finish the show going over what we said from the get-go. NASDAQ 100 is broken into new high ground. The NASDAQ is a stone throw away, and so is the S&P. The advanced declines are really picking up. The breadth of the market is getting better. The worst areas are also bottoming. You're getting a new yearly high list picking up. Duh. When you get major indices going into new yearly highs, that's a lot of stocks. The best stocks out of the gate are doing the best, as usual. This is in spite of all the news you hear on a daily basis. And by the way, I still think we got some decently sized tariffs up there, don't we, on at least China, I think? Now, I do know July 9th is coming up. There is no way in hell Trump goes back to Liberation Day, because if he does, I'll be screaming. And he don't want me screaming. The big banks leading, going into new high ground. I've never seen a bear market or a bad market when that is occurring. You have some growth names on the move. You have some of the worst stocks coming up the right side. You have it in differing sectors. That's good news. Defensive sectors have been weak, and that's good too. I'm not saying defense, but defensive, like the food and beverage. The Dow is much weaker than the other two because of United Health. Is still down about 2,000 points from the highs. And there's still about, I'll tell you what, there's still about 13 out of the 30 Dow stocks that are in bear phases. So some heavy lifting's being done. For instance, like a Goldman Sachs today was up, let's see, 6916, 42, 102, about 110 Dow points itself today. And it is the most important stock in the Dow now because it's the highest price. Just remember, in the Dow, a $30 stock is 1/10 as important as a $300 stock. A $30 stock, if it goes to zero, would be about 190 Dow points. A $300 stock going to zero would be 1,900. Price weighted. We think that's stupid, but what can I tell you? A copper starting to come on may mean something about the economy. Don't worry about the first quarter being down. This second quarter, we're going to have probably a 3%er. And that's because of the import-export thing, because of the tariffs. And going forward, the best thing Trump has, Biden had, Obama had, Bush had, Clinton had, is us. And our businesses doing great things. Speaking of Clinton, he congratulated this anti-Semitic piece of crap, maybe the mayor of New York City, which doubly pisses me off. I didn't think I can loathe Bill Clinton more than I used to, but let's double that up. And if anything changes in the market, we'll let you know. Bond market is stable. That's good news. We wish the president would shut the hell up over that, and Powell, but that ain't going to happen. Wishful thinking. The AI trade is definitively better. Even NVIDIA broke out to highs. It will not do what it did January 8th of 2024 and go up 90% in 2 months because it's that much bigger now and it's tougher to move. But so far, it's been good. Other names in that realm like Broadcom, good. Taiwan Semi, good. Micron reported was just down $1 today and is up 26% from its latest move. And the semiconductors, as we said, was strong. We have no clue what happens tomorrow. We also like the fact there's a lot of doubt. And you know why there's a lot of doubt? Because the media don't shut the hell up. They're telling you everything, the end of the world. By the way, turn on CNN and MSNBC. MSNBC will tell you you're racist and the president's Hitler. And CNN will just, they look like they're constipated anyhow. The market has us. It has our medical industry with terrific medical breakthroughs, the technology industry with technological advancements, and the hard work of everyone trying to do better for ourselves and our families. That's what's going on. Never forget that. I was taught that by the great John Templeton. You go look him up. That all said, you'll get Adam will be on tomorrow. But you have a great evening. Drive carefully. And when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure. Good night, all. Bye-bye.